Now at 9, the open sign is on for 18 new businesses in Joplin. We look at the city's growth as we kick off 2024. Plus, a recovery specialist in Joplin explains why the dry January trend may not be a good thing. And the Kansas court system finally has some information back online after a cyber attack in October.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Downtown Joplin Alliance says 2023 was a year of growth for the city. Almost 20 new businesses opened in the area last year. KOAM's Fernanda Silva spoke to 4 new business owners to hear how their investments are going.
It's going really great. Yeah, it's really going good. I think 2024 is probably, I don't know, with the elections going on, there's always a downside to it, but I'm hoping that it will stay the same, at least, or up a little bit more.
Orlando Bevilacqua opened a pizza place in the heart of Joplin in the second semester of 2023. He's one of almost 20 business owners who had the chance to hang the sign open on the door of their new investment in the area. Amber Peters and Christopher Hills also decided to start a business in their hometown.
We've seen a lot of the new progress being put up around here. We've seen a lot of the potential in the area, so it kind of made us want to be where it's all happening at that point in time.
They joined Gary McMiller investing on Main Street. For McMiller, downtown is the best place to have a business.
There is a ton of parking. It's really clean. There are a lot of opportunities here. It's right on Route 66.
He believes the housing investments happening in the area will also be beneficial for local businesses.
The more people that are living and spending time downtown, obviously, the more time and money they'll spend themselves.
According to Downtown Joplin Alliance, there are more than 300 apartments downtown, and 200 others are under development.
So we'll see some of those open up here early as we get into 2024, and then another building, the Olivia, I think will be done sometime next year in 2025.
For many local businesses, foot traffic is one of the advantages of being downtown, but new stores are finding new strategies to reach clients.
We bank on social media. You know, I have a social media following that has really benefited our store, and then with us both being from Joplin, Missouri, we've just banked on our friends and family. We've never really banked on foot traffic.
Banking on friends, family, or foot traffic, downtown businesses are optimistic for 2024.
As much as the word keeps spreading and there's more people that keep coming in and seeing how we are and what we have to offer, I think everything will keep going smooth.
Downtown is just the place to be.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Well, according to the Downtown Joplin Alliance, over the last 5 years, more than $60 million in private investment has been made in downtown. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us with a first look at weather.
Yeah, not a bad day for us today. Temperatures, they're chilly, but right about where we should be for this time of the year. 46 for a high. Started at 21, so it was a cold start. 45 is our average high. And if we go outside now, we're cooling down. We're going to get very frosty once again tonight. So you may, if your car's outside, you'll need to get up early in the morning again and start it and get rid of the frost. 28 in Stockton, 33 in Anderson, 28 Oswego, Chanute is sitting at 31. We do have a weak wave. This is passing to our south. Now we are getting some clouds from it, but besides that, we look okay. Another cold, frosty night. A little bit of patchy fog. We'll drop back 26, 27, back to 34 by 10 a.m. Now we are tracking 2 storm systems over the next week, so we're going to be breaking that down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Authorities arrest a trespassing suspect with assaulting an officer. The Knoll, Missouri Marshal's Office responded to a trespassing call in reference to this man, Adam Shogar of Chicago, Illinois. During the attempt to detain him, Shogar assaulted the officer. The officer deployed his taser and requested emergency assistance. Emergency medical services evaluated Shogar. The deputy was evaluated at a local hospital and released. Authorities have charged Shogar with assault in the 3rd degree, special victim, and resisting arrest for a felony. The portal that allows anyone, anywhere to search Kansas district court cases over the internet is back online, but its information is temporarily out of date, while courts work to input case information filed on paper. The portal is one of several information systems temporarily incapacitated by an October 12th cyber attack. Not only does the portal provide court information, it also allows court users to pay fines, fees, and costs online. Missouri Governor Mike Parson today signed an executive order banning people from foreign enemies from buying land near critical military facilities. This order lists 6 nations who are deemed adversaries to the U.S.: China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. It bans them from buying agricultural land within a 10-mile radius of a military facility in the state. Dry January has been growing in popularity with the help of social media influencers. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to one recovery center director who says sobriety is more than a trend.
If you're on social media, you might have noticed a growing hashtag Dry January trend. Hashtag Dry January challenges participants to cut out alcohol for the entire month of January. Each year, more and more influencers partake in the challenge, gaining millions of views. However, Paula Donaldson at The Rock in Joplin says sobriety is more than a trend.
For someone like me and many of the other people who come and here at The Rock, the Recovery Outreach Community Center, it's more about a matter of life and death. We can't just stay sober for a month. This is an ongoing process.
Donaldson believes sober living goes beyond the digital space. After a month, the challenge is over, but she says sobriety is a lifelong commitment.
It would be really nice if I could put on that I'm a normal person hat, but that's not my story, but a lot of people would be influenced by their peers, and that is a slippery slope.
Instead of swiping through hashtag Dry January, Donaldson recommends another kind of content.
I think it's important. I mostly like the intervention kind where you see a regular, normal person, what they were like, what happened, and what they're like now. And I really feel like that is giving little bitty pieces of hope in those couple-minute increments.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Recovery Outreach Community Center in Joplin offers classes, support groups, and certified peer specialists to support sober living. Well, coming up, how those four-legged friends can help you keep your healthy resolutions. Well, food insecurity among low-income adults dropped during the pandemic thanks to an expansion of benefit programs like SNAP. Survey data analyzed by researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Harvard Medical School found food insecurity was more than 20% in 2019 and fell to 15% in 2021. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health developed a new method to predict the risk of death for people with a history of heart failure. Scoring a group of 38 unique proteins helps determine adverse outcomes, which researchers say can also help a clinician direct treatment options. Well, if your New Year's resolution includes exercising more, eating healthier, or improving your mental health, you may be able to find motivation to stick with your goals from a four-legged friend. Mandy Gaither has more on how pets can help you keep healthy resolutions.
It's 2024, and if you're looking to make a healthy change in the new year, a furry friend may be just what you need.
There's a variety of ways that pets can play a role in helping people through the holidays, throughout the year.
Stephanie Filer with Shelter Animals Count says pets can keep you motivated to move, whether it's taking a dog or cat on a walk outside or playing in the backyard. Staying active can benefit you both. Filer says animals can also boost mental health and allow for social connection, not only to your pet, but others you may meet when you're out.
You can connect with dog owners, you can connect with your neighbors more, and it just really helps reduce isolation, especially for seniors or people that are homebound.
If your resolution is to eat healthier, there are many foods which are good for you and your pet. Just research which fruits, veggies, and proteins are safe.
It can be everything from carrots and green beans and apples, and then, fish and chicken, and even for cats, they enjoy small amounts of salmon and eggs and chicken and turkey and cheese and all kinds of things.
Finally, Filer says saving an animal can help you feel good in the new year.
Whether it's adoption or fostering on a temporary basis, bringing an animal in that is in need of a good home is something that can absolutely give you a sense of pride and increase your mental health as well.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Missouri Southern basketball standout is named the MIAA Player of the Week.
Well, it's turned out to be a cold night across the region, but it's the beginning of January, so it should be, but we are dry and it looks good. We're looking at downtown Joplin, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, Tower Cam. So this is right on 7th and about Joplin Street, looking off toward the north and to the east. Looks good. It's going to be a quiet night. We may get a little bit of patchy fog in here later on tonight, but it's going to be cold. Temperatures into the mid-20s later on tonight. Outside right now, it's 31 in Carthage, 33 in Neosho. Miami 31, Pittsburgh is sitting at 29 degrees. Let's go to 7th and Rangeline, 31. The winds are calming down. Visibility pretty good at 9 miles. Through the night, mid to upper 20s back to 34 by 10 a.m. We do have some clouds kind of skirting our southern counties. Most of us pretty much clear skies right now, but this wave to our south, it's going to stay south, but it will give us a few clouds as we go through the overnight hours tonight and then again tomorrow. But any rain will mainly push across central parts of Arkansas. All right, so let's go west. Here's our next storm system. You can see this upper level low digging in, moving into northern parts of California. In fact, behind this, we have another system out across, it's not even into the Gulf of Alaska yet, but that one will affect us next Monday into Tuesday. So it gets pretty active as we go through the next several days. All right, some fog builds in tonight. Patchy fog, this is mainly after 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but if you're going to be out early, 1, you're going to have to scrape your windshields. 2, it's going to be foggy, sitting mid to upper 20s. As we go through the morning, any fog burns off, partly sunny skies, near 40 by noon, and we should go up to about 45 or 46 degrees. So a pretty good Wednesday, 43 in Nevada, 45 Neosho, Welch 44, Chanute up to 44. Tomorrow evening we slide back into the mid 30s. Day planner for you Wednesday, 28 to start, 40 by noon, 45 by 4 p.m., high temp of 46 as we get into the afternoon hours. But let's focus in on that next system. We'll start to see the effects on Thursday. The clouds will increase. Temperature is pretty good, upper 40s. But look at this. Here comes a band of rain and snow. So here's early Friday morning. Notice the temperatures. We're hovering at or just above freezing. So this is mainly a grassy surface type situation. It looks like it will be heaviest on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, where we could get some light accumulations and then switching over to light showers by the time we head into Friday afternoon. So rainfall with this, I think a lot of areas can pick up 2/10, maybe 3/10 of an inch of rain, which would be nice. Snow, still a few days away, so I'm going to keep it in that dusting, maybe to 1 inch, but a little bit heavier once you get into our western counties. And another big system moving in Monday and Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about that in the second half hour. 46 tomorrow, 47 on Thursday, the rain and snow on Friday, high 43. Sunday looks pretty good, and then rain and snow chances back in early next week. We really haven't had much snow. We've only had about 1/4 of an inch right after Thanksgiving, so it was just kind of a little dusting. It's time.
I wanted to have a white Christmas, so I went out to western Kansas, and they actually had one out there.
Well, lucky you.
We didn't get one here.
We had a wet one here.
Yes, we did. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, more people are moving out of Kansas and Oklahoma than the number moving in. In Missouri and Arkansas, it's the reverse. The stats come from an annual survey by United Van Lines. In Kansas, the percentage leaving was 10% more than the percentage moving to the state. That's the 8th highest net loss in the nation. In Oklahoma, the net loss was 4.6%. In Missouri, well, Missouri saw a net gain of 1.8%, and Arkansas had the 4th highest net gain in the U.S. Percentage moving to Arkansas was 20.4%, higher than the percentage leaving that state. Well, coming up, if you're headed to college in the new year, we'll break down changes made to the FAFSA application. It's 2024, which means senior citizens will now be seeing an increase to their Social Security benefits. Social Security Administration announced earlier this fall that recipients will receive an annual cost of living adjustment of 3.2% beginning this month. That comes out to an average of more than $50 per month. This is the third year in a row for a bump in payments as a result of inflation. Well, heads up, future and current college students, the new free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, arrived during holiday break, and there are a lot of changes. Karen Kafa is in Washington with what to know and how the delay could impact colleges and students during the upcoming year.
It's been a slow start for some as the Department of Education keeps this form available and open for just a few hours at a time as they update the site as needed. Typically, the FAFSA is available on October 1st, but the overhaul of the process caused a delay. That means students and families might have to get up to speed a little bit more quickly, but they also may wait a little bit longer for financial aid offers. A trimmed-down version of the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, is now available online.
You never know what federal aid you might be eligible for.
The new FAFSA, which will determine federal aid eligibility for the 2024-25 academic year, has reduced the number of questions for students from as many as 108 to as few as 18. The Department of Education says some applicants can complete the form in less than 10 minutes. The revamp, approved by Congress in 2019 and 2020, is a response to criticism that the previous process was too complicated and simplifies applications in two major ways. First, a tool connected with the IRS will allow all applicants to pull appropriate tax data from their parents' most recent income tax filings with their parents' consent.
The student will go in and say, yes, you can pull any information on file at the IRS for me. And then the parent will also go in and do the same.
Second, applicants can now skip questions that just aren't relevant to them. Also revised the way aid is calculated. That's expected to boost the number of lower income students eligible for federal Pell Grants, which do not need to be repaid. But the new calculations eliminate the so-called sibling discount, where students who had a sibling enrolled in college were eligible for more aid. Colleges will begin to receive applicant data in late January, setting a tight clock for institutions that typically send aid award letters in March.
They will be scrambling to get those turned around so that students and families have adequate amount of time so that they can consider all of their options and make their enrollment decision.
The Department of Education describes this period right now as a soft launch. So they do say there will be some periods of time when the form is taken offline for maintenance or updates. So factor that additional time into your application timeline, but don't panic. They say schools won't get FAFSA data until the end of January anyway. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, up next, many people celebrated the new year with fireworks, but none of them quite matched the power of this New Year's Eve solar flare. 2023 ended with an incredible light show from space. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured these spectacular images of a strong solar flare erupting from the sun on New Year's Eve. The close-up image of the sun shows a mix of yellow, orange, brown, and black colors, and then a bright white flash appears on the left side of the photo. That's the solar flare. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Educators in McDonald County get a day of development ahead of the return to schools. Plus, the Joplin City Council discusses new scheduling software for its public transportation systems.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. McDonald County, Missouri teachers gather for teacher development just one day before students are set to return to class. The session focused on teaching methods, curriculum updates, and strategies to support the needs of students. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
As winter break comes to a close, schools in the 4 states will once again have students flooding their halls. Although they've already made it through half of the year, McDonald County teachers are taking the time to be prepared for what's to come.
You want your students to be in a classroom with teachers who feel confident about what they're doing and and know the curriculum and have a plan. And so all of this rolls into that. And we're a district that talks about every child, every day, whatever it takes. This is part of that.
No matter what. To these teachers, that means cutting their breaks short so their students can have the best experience in the classroom.
I'm extremely excited to be back with the kids, the students, see them and do whatever I can to help them.
Tori Willis is a first-year third grade teacher. A day like today is needed to get her mentally prepared to finish the year.
It's good to get an overview of everything we're going to be doing because it kind of makes it feel like it's going to be not as much as a grand scheme thing. You're like, oh, I have to do this, this, and this, but then seeing it broken down week by week helps, so it's good.
Tori isn't alone. Teachers all over the district all come together this day to collaborate and learn from one another.
Every principal leads a grade level or a content level meeting, and they help drive that instruction and facilitate that meeting. I think that's really important. I think it's important that our teachers see that they're invested in the curriculum and what our students learn as well.
In high school, it was not like that. Where I went to, it was just a huge school. You hardly ever saw someone. You hardly saw the principal, or if I saw the superintendent, I have no idea who it was when I was out in my school. So it's really cool to just see everyone's here to support one another.
Reporting in McDonald County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
McDonald County teachers will have another professional development day in February. The Joplin City Council tonight agreed to update the scheduling software used for its public transportation services. $195,000 software will help the city keep its map services up and running according to its listed schedule. 80% of that cost will be reimbursed by the Federal Transit Administration.
Yeah, the transit service uses a scheduling and routing software, and the item on tonight's agenda was to purchase a new software that will give us a little bit more functionality.
Whenever you are out driving, it's all about the most efficient way to pick up your riders.
The council also updated the city's rules for its parks and trails, changing the hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. to the new hours of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Well, Donald Trump's legal team filed an appeal with the Maine Superior Court over the Secretary of State's decision to remove him from Maine's primary ballot. This comes as another case heads to court next week on whether the former president has immunity from charges related to the Capitol riot. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Trump has been dumped in Colorado and Maine, booted off the ballot. Now it could be up to the Supreme Court to decide if he gets back on and to set a roadmap for all 50 states on what disqualifies a candidate.
I think that the Colorado Supreme Court's decision and the Maine decision are not long for this world. I think the United States Supreme Court is going to step in very soon and reverse it.
Last month, Maine's Secretary of State and the Colorado Supreme Court kicked Trump off their primary ballots, finding that the former president engaged in an insurrection on January 6th, barring him from running under the Constitution's 14th Amendment.
We've got to enforce our Constitution, and that certainly was the design of the framers, and that's what they would have us do.
If there was any validity about keeping Trump off a ballot, you'd see 48 other states trying to do the same thing.
It's possible other states will launch legal challenges after the Supreme Court rules in these historic cases.
It's unprecedented for a Secretary of State to deprive a presidential candidate of ballot access under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. It's also unprecedented for a presidential candidate to engage in insurrection.
The courts are also considering Trump's appeal, claiming he cannot be charged for his role in trying to overturn the 2020 election. That case could also make its way to the Supreme Court. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, after a year of explosive growth in the use of artificial intelligence, security experts warn the United States is facing increasing hacking threats from criminals and foreign governments in 2024. A crucial election year. On CBS Morning, Sean Henry, a former FBI executive assistant director and now security chief at CrowdStrike, said that AI has been able to overcome some online security systems, gaining access into corporate networks and spreading misinformation.
People always have to look at the source of information. You can't just look at something and accept it as true. You've got to verify where it came from. Who's telling the story? What is their motivation? And can you verify it through multiple sources?
On a positive note, he adds that he does not think AI is a major threat to voting machines, mostly because the U.S. election system is not centralized and has wide variations state to state on the way people vote. A bit later, we'll meet a set of newborn twins who don't even share the same birth year.
Well, it's turned out to be a nice Tuesday night. It's just cold outside. Temperatures dropping back, lower 30s to upper 20s now. We'll bottom out into the mid 20s later on tonight, but it looks good. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. This is our live tower cam looking northeast, so we're looking at Joplin and 7th Street. Looks pretty good. We are going to have some fog building in later on tonight, so if you are going to be out, just watch out for that fog. We do have clouds in our southern counties, but most of us, partly cloudy skies as we go through the night. Here's a wave down to our south. Now, any rain, the farthest it may track is maybe Little Rock, maybe Jonesboro, maybe Memphis, but it's not going to get into southern parts of Missouri, but we are going to see some of the clouds. Here's our next storm system. Looking the Big Dip out across the western third of the country. A stronger system, but there's even a stronger one behind it. It's not even into the Gulf of Alaska yet. That one will affect us by the time we get into Monday. So a lot to watch as we go through the next several days. So let's start out with our next storm system. We're looking at late Thursday, clouds increase, upper 40s for highs. As we go into Friday morning, we'll start with light, maybe a couple pockets of moderate snow, especially in our western counties. Notice the temperatures, we're sitting just above freezing. So it shouldn't be a huge deal on the roadways, but we'll see how it looks as it gets a little bit closer to us. Here's the noon hour. Snow kind of shifts back into central Kansas. Most of us will see a very light scattered showers or very light rain snow mix, not accumulating at this point in time. As we get into Friday night and Saturday morning, still some scattered showers, and then most of this starts to advance east by the time we get into late Sunday or late Saturday into Sunday. All right, rainfall with this system, not a lot. It's a moderate system. It's not a strong system, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain. Snow, not a lot. Again, about 2.5, 3 days away. We'll watch it. Right now, I'm going to go for most of us a dusting upwards to an inch. Better chances for an inch as you get on the Kansas side. And then once you get Chanute, Yates Center, Independence out a little bit farther west, you may get a little bit more than an inch of snow. Then our next system rolls in right behind it. Look at this. Rain increases. This is Monday evening. As a colder air filters in, we could switch over to moderate to heavy snow by the time we head into Tuesday. So a lot to watch as we go through the next few weeks. But until we get there, looks pretty good. Mid-20s tonight. We have fog. It will burn off once we get into the afternoon hours. Very similar to today. Highs right around 45, 46 degrees. Let's go 47 on Thursday. Rain over to snow Friday, and then just a few showers Saturday. Sunday looks good. Rain over to snow again Monday into Tuesday.
Well, we need some snow.
We do.
We haven't got it,
Anything.
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have snow than more wetness.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Doug.
You bet.
Well, coming up in sports, a Missouri Southern Lion takes home MIAA Player of the Week honors, plus highlights from tonight's basketball doubleheader at Webb City. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Webb City and Nevada girls basketball each are itching to get back onto the court. The Lady Tigers haven't played in a week and a half. It's been 2 full weeks for the Lady Cardinals since they last played a game. Webb City girls basketball at home this evening, playing host to Nevada. Late in the second quarter, Lady Cards up by 1. Abby Sargent goes down the right alley, hits a layup, stretches the lead to 3 going into halftime. We go ahead to the third quarter. Pitt State commit Clara Swearingen hits a tough jumper with a hand in her face. That brings the Lady Tigers within 1. Next possession, her sister, Lucy Swearingen, she connects from deep. That ties the game at 22. We go into the fourth. Whitley Keith gets the layup and the foul. Lady Cards leading by 3. Now just a few minutes left. Keith with a beautiful assist to Sargent. Webb City leading by 6 at that point. Nevada makes a late push. Swearingen goes to the bucket, gets the hoop and the harm. She hits the free throw to make it a 3-point game. But the Lady Cardinals hold off Nevada down the stretch. They've won back-to-back games for the first time this year. Final score 44-36. Webb City boys hoops trying to make it 2 for 2 tonight in the Cardinal Dome. They host another foe from the 4 states. McDonald County boys basketball on the road tonight, taking on Webb City, who hasn't lost on its home floor. Cardinal ball movement looking great early. Baron Duda with the steal. He finds Eli Pace down low for the easy 2. Next possession, Holton Keith to Omari Jackson, who bounces to Pace for another lay-in. Then off the inbounds, Pace to Jackson, back to Pace, alley-oop, back to Jackson. Cards on an 8-0 scoring run, and they're not finished. Jackson gets the steal here from Destin Dowd. He's up ahead to Keith, one of 4 Webb City players to finish the game with double-figure points. Josh Pacheco trying to breathe some life into the Mustangs. He hits a 3-pointer. He finished with a team-high 10 points. But this one was all Webb City. More great ball movement here. Baron Duda finishes. He leads all scorers with 19 points. Webb improves to 4-0 in the Cardinal Dome. They beat McDonald County 81-38. In Missouri Southern's Kristlyn Jones named the MIAA Athlete of the Week, the conference announces this afternoon. This comes after she helps guide the Lions to a 5th consecutive win. This one over number 18 Drury on the road, in which the senior guard scored 18 points on 6 of 12 shooting to go with 5 rebounds and 2 steals without a turnover. This afternoon, the Division II women's basketball coaches poll released. The Gorillas improved to their highest ranking of the year. They're now the number 16 team in the country, thanks to an 11-1 start. Central Missouri and Fort Hays State are the other 2 MIAA teams in the top 25, and Northwest Missouri, the only team to beat PSU this season. Well, they're not in the top 25, but they are receiving votes. Meanwhile, here's a look at the Division II men's coaches poll and the MIAA teams in it. Neither of our local schools in the top 25, nor are they receiving votes. However, Northwest at 19, Central Oklahoma at 12. One of Central Oklahoma's 2 losses on the season came to Pitt State. The Gorillas have won 5 in a row since a 2-4 start to the season. Back to Webb City girls basketball. That's a team that we've covered a lot this year. They've struggled plenty, but very young team, and 2 freshmen, Whitley Keith and Abby Sargent, leading them in scoring tonight on the varsity level.
I got some young blood in there.
Definitely.
Promise for the future, for sure.
Yes.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be back with more news after this. Twins share so many things. Some share looks, personalities, and usually they share the same birthday. But for one set of twins in New Jersey, they won't even share the same birth year. Fox's Jennifer Joyce has their story.
Ezra was first. He's baby A.
New Year's babies, twins, Ezra and Ezekiel Humphrey, born 40 minutes apart at Virtua Hospital in Voorhees, New Jersey. But they don't share a birthday. In fact, they don't share a birth year. Ezra was born at 11:48 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Brother Ezekiel was born at 12:28 a.m. New Year's Day, 2024.
It feels like paperwork is going to be the most challenging, right? You tell somebody you've got twins, they want to write down the same date. Oh no, they're born different days, different years too.
That's going to be confusing. And then they're going to say we're twins and people are going to say you're lying.
The kicker, baby A, Ezra, now shares a birthday with his dad.
My birthday is New Year's Eve, and when she woke me up the morning of New Year's Eve, she said, "Happy birthday. I think my water broke. I need to go to the doctor."
Within hours, Ezra was born.
But having even one kid on your birthday, I mean, how rare, and just really cool to have that moment that we get to now share.
The fraternal twins are different, not only in looks, but personalities. Ezra, born at 6 pounds and sleeps a lot. Ezekiel, born 4 pounds, 15 ounces. Mom and Dad say he doesn't stop moving.
He's looking around, he's curious, so you can already tell different personalities.
Well, coming up, we'll get an early look at season 3 of Fox's hit game show, I Can See Your Voice. Fox's guessing game show, I Can See Your Voice, returns tomorrow, and Fox caught up with host Ken Jeong as we get ready for season 3. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Let's get it on. The name of the game on I Can See Your Voice, hosted by Ken Jeong, is to guess if singers are good or bad without hearing a note.
Judge on The Masked Singer, doctor, actor,
Instagram model.
Yep. What do you love most about being host, and especially for a show like I Can See Your Voice?
I think what I love about I Can See Your Voice, the gameplay is as challenging and as authentic as it gets, and the stakes are high. What looks like a lovely experiment in the vein of The Masked Singer, where you have familiar faces like me, and you have friends of mine, and also enemies like Joel McHale. On the show, you have a contestant, and we're trying to win that person life-changing money.
Jeong adds another highlight is being behind the scenes.
As an EP and executive producer on the show, I got to see the development of the show from jump, from day one.
If you were a secret voice on the show, what clues from your career would you give to make the case that you are a good singer?
Okay, I would say that I play piano and violin, which I do as a kid, and I sang in a band during med school, which I did, like a cover band. But if they knew if it was me, Ken Jeong, they're like, oh no way, he can't sing. Then if I could sing, or at least a song that I'm good at singing, like a good karaoke song that I can kind of crush it.
Will you sing eventually on I Can See Your Voice? Tune in.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of a 1-year-old tigers at a zoo in Australia. Awesome. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.